anchor element. Okay, and with this anchor element, we have seen two ways, like we have seen the inter navigation. We have seen the intra navigation as well. This is what we have explored in the last session. And if you see, this was our inter navigation, like from HTML document, we can navigate to CSS document, right? From CSS document, we can navigate to JavaScript document, right? From again JavaScript, we can navigate to HTML document. Am I right? And apart from that, we have seen intra navigation also, like navigating from one section to another section in the same page. Like if I click on React, I will navigate to React page. I mean React section basically. If I click on JS, I'm navigating to JS section. Okay. And this is what we have explored in the last session. And if you remember, I have told you that there is one attribute, something called target. There is the attribute called target. And we haven't explored this target attribute, right? So today, let's try to understand about this target attribute. So basically, using this target attribute, we can give the instruction to the browser where to open our new web page. Whenever you click on particular link, you will navigate to some page, right? So that new page should be opened where? Should it open in the same tab, or should it open in this some new tab, or should it open in the new window? Okay, that kind of instructions we can give using the target attribute. By default, if you click on any link, like if you click on any link here, like if I click on JavaScript, JavaScript document will load in the same tab. See, if I click on JavaScript, it is loading in the same tab. If I click on CSS, CSS page is also loading in the same tab. If you want, you can open new document in the new tab. Instead of opening in the same tab, if you want, you can open in the new tab also. How to open in the new tab? For that, we have to configure target attribute. And to this target attribute, we have to assign a value called underscore blank. Underscore blank as a value we have to assign. If you configure target attribute and assign this value, then your browser will understand that the new page should be opened in the new tab. It should be opened in the new tab. So if I go back here, okay, now see here, this is my CSS, right? CSS tag. So here I'm simply adding one target attribute. And I am saying that this CSS document should open in the new tab. So for that, I'm just giving a value called underscore blank. Now, if you save it, I can copy this link as it is. I can go back to my maybe HTML document. Here also I can paste it. Now, when CSS document will open in the new tab. Save it, go back. Okay, now let me just go to the JavaScript. Now we are in the JavaScript document. Now see here we have only 3 tabs. Now if I click on CSS, CSS will open in the new tab. See, CSS is opening in the new tab. You have here your JavaScript document, but in the new tab, CSS document has opened. Okay, if I click on again HTML, I will go back to the HTML document, which is opened in the new tab. If I click on CSS, again the CSS document will open in the new tab. It is opening in the new tab. So there are 4 values that you can configure for target attribute. That is underscore blank. Underscore blank means you have to open this particular web page in the new tab. We have underscore self. Underscore self means the web page, new web page should open in the new same tab. And apart from that, we have 2 more values, underscore top and underscore something called parent. Now I want you guys to explore these two values. What is the purpose of underscore top value? What is the purpose of underscore parent value? In the same way, here we can give one more value, that is frame name. Okay, something called frame name. Now, what is this frame name? To understand this frame name, you have to understand one more element, that is iframe. So whenever I explain that iframe element, that time I will explain you the what is this frame name. And if you configure frame name inside your target attribute, what will happen? That we will understand whenever I will make you understand about iframe element. Okay, iframe name I will explain you. So let me just mark this with this brown color. Underscore top underscore parent. I want you guys to find the answer for this. So if you configure target value as a underscore top, what happens? If you configure target value as a underscore parent, what happens? If you configure underscore target value as a underscore blank, the page will open in the new tab. If you configure target value as a underscore self, it means the new page will open in the same tab. If you configure target attribute value as a frame, if you give some frame name, your new page will open in the same web page but in the new frame. Now what is that new frame? To understand that, you guys have to understand iframe concept. Now still we don't know iframe concept, so you will not be able to understand this value. So whenever I explain iframe concept, at that time I will explain about this frame name value. But these two values you have to find. If you configure underscore top, what happens? If you configure underscore parent, what happens? Okay, so let's see how many of you will be able to find that. Yeah. Is it clear, guys? Understood target attribute? What is the use of target attribute? Is it clear? If you give here underscore self, if you add just underscore self, what happens? That page will open in the same tab. That page will open in the same tab. Now, if you see here, let me just close all this. Now see, I am in the JavaScript document. I have only 3 tabs. If I click on the CSS, my CSS document is opening in the same tab. Same tab. So underscore self means it will open in the same tab. If you give underscore blank, in that case, what happens? That CSS document will open in the new tab. See here we have 3 tabs. If I click on CSS, new tab will open. Now see, your CSS document opened in the new tab. Here JavaScript, here we have CSS. Okay, so this is about your target attribute. Now, if you remember in yesterday's session, I have told you, right? Can you design this kind of assignment? Something like this. So anyone tried to create something like this? Or maybe something like this, maybe something like this, or maybe something like this. Anybody tried? Are you guys able to do? Are you guys able to implement? How many of you tried? Can you guys just raise your hands so that we can get the idea how many of you tried and how many of you got succeed? Okay, what about remaining folks? Okay, so let's try this. Shall we design this part? Okay, let's design this part. So I will just take the screenshot. This part we will design. Okay, let me just go to that paint. Let me paste here. Now we want to design this. Okay, let's go step by step. Let's try to analyze the design, and according to our analyzation, let's try to code. Okay, don't try to code directly. First, try to analyze, like, what is this design? What elements I can take to design this kind of user interface? Okay, so first, what we will do, we will try to take one div. We will try to take one div, like this entire div we will try to take. Okay, let's try to take one div as one section. Let's consider div as one section, this entire thing as a one section. Okay, so as per our understanding, we thought, okay, let's consider this entire thing as one section. So how we can create a section in HTML means using a div element, using something called div element. So let's create one div element. So for this, we required one HTML document, right? So here I'm just adding something called amazon.html. Okay, start with your doc type, then HTML, inside that head section, and then we have our body section. Now, as per our understanding, till now, we just required one div. So let's take one simple div. Okay, done. Now again, let's come back to our design. Now, can you guys tell me which concept we can use so that our content will come something like this, one after another? Something is coming like this. Okay, first content is coming here up to here. Then we have some second content. You can consider this as second content. Then one more as a third content. And in that also, in first, we don't have anything else which is dividing. It looks like everything one common sentence. In second, we have something like two parts, like this, two parts, part one, part two. And in third also, we have something like two parts. So by seeing this, can you guys guess? It looks like which element? This all the content arranged inside which element? It's look like a table, right? So first row, this is the first row, second row, third row. In first row, how many columns? In first row, how many columns? In first row, how many columns we have here? Yes, it looks like only one column. In second row, how many columns? It looks like two columns. Third row, three columns. So can we design one table with three rows, and in first row, one column, and in second and third row, two columns? Okay, inside this div, I will take one table. Inside that, we want three rows, right? First row will be always in T head, right? So I'm taking one T head. Inside that, one row. And inside that, one column. Okay, if you want, you can take something like TH. After that, we can take T body. Inside that, we can add two rows. Okay, in each row, two columns. Okay, in each row, two columns. So you can go with this complex structure. Like this, you can go with complex structure, or else what you can do, you can just remove this T head. We don't require this T head. We don't require this T body. Directly inside our table, we can create the rows. Directly inside our table, we can create the rows. So inside my table, how many rows I created? Row 1, row 2, and row 3. Just 3 rows I have created in my table. In first row, I want to create column. I will go with TD only. I don't want to use TH. I want to go with TD. If you want to go with TH, you can go with TH also. But I want to go with TD. In first row, only 1 column. In second row, 2 columns. In third row, 2 columns. Is it clear up to here? Understood whatever code I have written? Whatever I tried to analyze, whatever comes in your mind, whatever comes in my mind according to design. Whenever I see this design, whatever coming in my mind, I am trying to code it. I am trying to code it. Okay. So always don't try directly coding. Whenever you get any requirement, try to analyze it and try to divide your requirement into like this small parts. Whatever you understand, you just code up to there. You just code up to there. Okay. Now this content looks like which element? To show like this content, which element we can use? Content looks little bit bigger and it looks little bit bolder. To show any content in this structure, which element we can use? Yes, we can use heading element, right? So can we go for H2 element? So inside this TD, can I take one H2 element? And inside that H2, can I add that content? Can I just copy this content? Can I paste here? Now save it. Okay, now let's open this document. Now it looks something like this. It looks something like this. But we don't want like this, right? Here, after your, this furniture should come in the next line. Furniture should come in the next line. So what we can do, after this your, we can add here one break statement, that is BR tag. BR tag will add one line break, right? So next content will come in the next line. If I save it, if I go back here, now see, I got something like this. Okay, which looks little similar to this one. Now let's come back to the first row. Okay, first row part up to this, whatever we wanted to do, that is done. Now let's go to the next row. Next row means this part. Now this part. In next row, nothing but in second row, we have 2 columns, column 1 and column 2. In first column, we have one image. We have some content. Now tell me, if you want to show the image like this, if you want to show the image, then which tag or element we have to use? To show the image on the screen, which tag or element we have to use? Yes, image tag, right? So can we try that image tag here? Image src equals to, I will just add some width and here some height. Maybe width I will add something like 350 and height something like 300 pixel. Okay, initially randomly add some value, then try to adjust width and height value based on requirement. We want that image here. So let's grab that image from internet only. So just right click, copy image link and paste here. Now if I save it, if I go back to my browser, it looks something like this. Now it looks very big, right? Image looks very big. The size of image is looking very, very big. Now can we reduce the width and height? Now we have just guessed that, okay, let's take 350 and 300. Now it is looking very, very big. So let's do one thing. Let's make it 100. Let's make it 150. And let's see how it looks. Now it looks something like this. Maybe I'm still not satisfied. So I will go with something like 190. Height, I will go with 130. So like this, you just change the value till you get your required size for your images. Now we got some size here. Okay, after that, I want this content minimum 50% of sofa, something like that. So what I will do to show that content, I will take one paragraph here. Okay, I will just take one paragraph. So now if I go back, it looks something like this. Now same thing, same image and paragraph, I want in the next cell also. I just need to change this URL, image URL I need to change. So I will go back here. I will get another image, copy image link, go back here, paste here. Okay. Now if you come to the paragraph here, I think it's a 30%. And here it's like a beds. Now save it. Here we have beds, here we have 35%. So let's go with 35%. Now if I save it and if I go back here, now see I got something like this. Now same thing we want in the next row also. Next row design looks same. So let's copy paste and just change the content. So here also what I will do, I will just copy paste. And here also I will copy paste. Okay, I just need to change the images. Copy image link. Some image I am adding. I'm just changing the image link. Same thing here also. Now let's go back here and let's change this image link also. Now if you save it, if you go back, it looks something like this. Okay, now whatever content you want to add, you can add here. Recleaners and this one, wardrobes. Here something like recleaners. That's it. And here wardrobes. So you can go back here. You can change that content. Now here I think it should be 50%. That's it. Now if you come back here, now you got something like this. Now here, are you able to find lot of gap? We are able to see lot of gap, right? But here we don't have that gap. Here we have less gap. But here it looks so much gap. That's because of this first row. In first row, we have only one cell, right? Nothing but only we have one column. In second and third row, we have two columns. That is the reason you are getting this gap. So what I want in my first row, my first column should merge with another column also, column 2 also. So for that, I will simply use call span. So here, for this, I will use call span. That extra space will be removed now. Now see, that extra space got removed. And if you see, between this image and this content also, we have so much space here. Between image and content, we have so much space. But here we don't have space. Between the content and image, we don't have any space. And between this image and this content also, we have very less space. But here, see, the space is more. Here also, we have so much space. I want to remove that space. So that space you can remove using CSS. Okay, that space you can remove using CSS. So as of now, you guys don't know CSS. So blindly follow what I am doing here. So inside this header section, I am taking some style tag, something called style tag. In that, I am using asterisk and simply I am adding one line of code, something called margin -0. Now you won't understand what is this because you guys don't know CSS. But once we start with CSS, you will understand this line. As of now, blindly add this line. If you save it, that extra space will be removed. See, extra space got removed. But if you observe here, there is some gap. There is some gap, right? Between this cell and this cell, there is some space. Between this cell, there is some space. But here, we don't have any space. So how to generate this space between the cells? I want to generate this space. How to generate this space between the cells? Yes, for that, we have to use cell spacing. So can I use here cell spacing? Okay, something like 15 I will try. Now see, I got it. Something I got. Some space I got. Now we are able to design something like this. So to design this, we are not using much CSS. For creating the layouts, we are using table concept. So this is how the table concept is used. Table concept is not only used to show the data in tabular format. It can be used to create the layouts also, like this. Now this is how your table element is used. See. Now if you want something like this, you want one more thing beside your table. Like this is one section, right? I want one more section here like this. So what you need to do for that? If you want like this, we have created one section, right? We have just created one section. Now I want another section to come exactly beside this one. Okay, so for that, what we have to do means we have to do nested table. We have to do nested table. Okay, now this is our one section, right? This is one section. I will remove this entire thing. Inside this body, what I will do, I will take one table. Inside that table, I will create one row. Inside the row, I will create two TDs, TD1, TD2. What I did, I took one table. Inside that, only one row. Inside that row, I have taken two TDs, nothing but two columns. In first column, I will copy paste whatever we have done till now. That entire div I will copy paste here. It means inside my first TD, I have that div. Inside that div, I have a table. Okay, inside next TD, also I will copy paste same data. Now if I save it, now see I got two beside. And now what I need to do, I just need to change the content. I need to change the image. I need to change the content. That's it. Apart from that, everything will be same. Okay, so this is how you can use table concept to show certain content in your horizontal line or in one row. Okay, this is using table concept. In real time, we will never use table concept. Okay, this is outdated. Table concept is almost outdated. Now we have very advanced concepts in CSS like flex. We have something like grid. We have something like positions. Okay, using those, we are going to lay out our elements. But as of now, we don't know all those concepts. We know table concept, so we tried with table. We know that we can do with table also. But it is not recommended approach. This is not at all recommended approach in the industry as of now, because we have so many advanced techniques now. This was the old technique, like before 2010, before the year 2010, people used to use this table concept to create this kind of layouts. Okay. Now, if you want to learn table concept, Sumit, just watch yesterday's video. You will understand the table concept. Okay. So here what I did, simply I have taken one table. Inside that only one row, two columns. That's it. One table, one row, two columns. That's it. In first column, I added my first section. In second column, I added another section. If you want one more here, let's consider I want one more here. What you need to do? What you need to do for that? If you want one more, create one more column here and paste that section here. That's it. Third section will also come in the same row. Okay. So this is how we have used our table concept to create this kind of user interface. We have used table concept to create this kind of user interface. Is it clear, guys? Understood? Now, yesterday I have shown you one thing, right? One more page I have shown you, right? This part. Can you guys design this part? Will you be able to design this part? Okay. So designing this part is very easy, guys. Okay, let's try this part. So I'm just creating here something called resume.html. Okay. Now here, I want to design this part. So tell me, if I want to show any name like this in this structure, which element we have to use? Heading, right? Yeah. So simply we have to use h1. And here I'm just adding the content Kabir Sagar. That's it. Okay. If I just open this document in my browser, it looks like this. Now I want to show something like this. So for this, I have taken one paragraph. Apart from that, nothing. Took one paragraph, in that added that content. If I go back here, now see, I got that content here. Okay. In the same way, I want this, I want one line like this, one line I want. So if you want this line, simply use HR tag. HR. Now save it, you will get that line. Now see, here we got that line. After that, I want to show this experience. Now, can you guys tell me, to add this experience, what I need to do? Which element I need to take? Yes. If you see, this experience is little smaller than this content, right? Compared to this content looks little small. So if you have taken h1 for this content, then you can take h2 for this content. Now here simply I am taking one h2. Save it. We got something like this. After that, for this I have taken h3 and one paragraph. Okay, so here I will go back H3 and then one paragraph. After that, one HR. So just copy paste that paragraph. I just need this paragraph. I will copy. I will paste here. Now if I go back, now see I got that. Now same thing, same structure we have. For this also you can take something like H3. You can add that content, then one paragraph, then here one HR. Now it looks very simple, right? By seeing this output, it looks very simple to design this part. But whenever you might have seen first time, the people who are very new to this HTML, they might find it is very difficult to design something like this. But after learning few concepts in HTML, you are able to design it. Okay, now tell me, to show like this structure, which element we have to use to show like this? Yes, for skills, we can take H2 and for this UL. H2 skills, and then you can take one UL, and inside that you can configure LI like HTML, maybe one more LI, something like CSS, maybe one more LI, something like JavaScript. Okay, one more LI, something like React, basically React.js. One more LI, something like Node.js, like this. You will get some skills here. Same thing, I want here something like hobbies. Hobbies part you guys can do now. This hobbies part you guys can add. Now see here we are able to develop one simple page, very simple page, like very simple basic resume page. So we are able to develop this part. We are able to develop this Amazon part also. Okay, slowly, I'm pretty sure that you will be able to develop this entire thing. So once we learn some of the CSS concept, I will show you how to develop this nav bar. Once we learn some CSS, I will show you how to develop this footer section. Okay, very simple footer section. Then we will try to develop something like this. This portfolio. Profile, something like profile. Okay, very simple card. And then at the end, we will design something like this. Okay, very simple. These are very simple. Okay, within next 3-4 sessions, you will have all these examples. Within next 3-4 sessions, you will have all these examples. Okay, like this, we will be developing so many things in coming sessions. Once we are exploring the more concepts, we will develop something. So in this way, you will be able to understand the practical way of learning the things. You will be learning the concepts, plus you will be able to apply those concepts to implement something. Now, once you develop like this lot of pages, like if you develop like this 10 pages, if someone asks you, are you a fresher? Then it doesn't make any sense to tell you guys like a freshers, because already you guys have experience. You developed some projects. Just you don't have the industry experience. You did not work for some company, but you have developed some projects. So you are not like a complete fresher. You have so much knowledge, but you don't have that industry related things. That's it. So you can say that, like, once you get a very good amount of confidence, then you guys can claim that I have 1 year of experience, but I have worked like freelancer. You can tell that I am not a fresher. I have 1 year of experience, but I was working like a freelancer. Okay. And you can just showcase some projects to them. Okay. These are the projects I have developed. That's it. Now they will consider you guys as a 1 year experience or 2 years experience, and they will give you the package accordingly. Because I think these days getting the job as a fresher is little challenging because of recession. But you can show something like this. See, experience is nothing but you should have knowledge to develop something, and that is what you are showcasing. You are showcasing that yes, I have developed something. Okay. So it's not a rule that if you work for certain company, then only you got the experience. It's not like that. If you know some work, you have worked for something, you have developed something, means you have the experience. So this is how people will be like claiming the experience, though they don't have the experience. And as a fresher, they will get the job like around 10 LPA package, maybe 8 LPA package. Okay, some people who know data structures, they will get around 15 plus LPA package. I am talking as a fresher. They will just showcase their projects. They will say that this is what projects I have developed. This is what knowledge I have. You can test my knowledge. You can take how many rounds you want. You can take, you just test my knowledge. If you think that I am able to do all the things, whatever you are saying, then you guys can offer me the packages. Okay, if you guys learn something like React or Angular or Vue.js, as a fresher, you guys will get the packages around in between 5 LPA to 8 LPA as a freshers. You can claim this much packages. You can ask, you can demand this much packages, but make sure you should know at least one, React, Angular or Vue. You can learn from anywhere, but to learn this React, Angular and Vue, you should have knowledge on, you should have very good knowledge on HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And Bootstrap is like optional. It is like optional knowledge. If you have, that's great. If you don't have, it's okay. It's like chalta. But HTML, CSS and JavaScript, you should be very, very strong. Very, very strong. It's not like you should have basic knowledge. You should be very, very strong to understand these technologies. And if you want, you guys can go through LinkedIn. You guys can go through Naukri, and you will understand the demand of React. You will understand the demand of Angular and Vue. Okay, lot of people I have seen, like suppose, how many of you are freshers here? How many of you are freshers? Okay, now if someone asks you, what is your expected salary? What will be your answer? If someone asks you, what is your expected salary? How much salary you are expecting? So how much you will tell? Can you guys just put on the chat? Don't say as per company nominees, okay? Don't say that point. Do you know how much they are offering? Okay, as a fresher, if you have a knowledge, on all the technologies, for a front-end developer, you can demand in between 5 LPA to 8 LPA. Tell the ranges, guys. Tell the ranges of your salary. Don't fix with one salary. Don't say 4.5 or 5. Tell the range. You have to tell the range of salary and demand this much. As a fresher, you have to demand this much. And I have seen lot of people will demand like 2 LPA, 3 LPA like this. Though they have very good knowledge, because of some suggestions, or I don't know, or because of low confidence, they will just demand 2 or 3 LPA. And company will give, because you are only expecting that much salary, right? Then company will give only that much salary. If you demand 5 to 8 LPA, okay, if you guys are selected, while negotiating the salary, they will start from 5. You start from 8. They will say, I will offer 5. You say, no, I want 8 LPA. If your interview went very well, if you are very confident, then just demand 8 LPA. Then somewhere he will come and adjust in between 6 to 7. In between 6 to 7, you will get the packages at maximum time. Or else, if the company don't want to lose you, they will be ready to give 8 LPA. No doubt in that. Okay. So I want to change that mindset. So why I am giving this knowledge? Because I have seen a lot of people, they demand very less salary. Don't demand that much less salary, guys. You have learned so many high technologies. So demand more, demand more. If you know full stack, if you know backend also, then you can demand more. You can demand in between 10 to 12. If you are a full stack developer. Okay, every company will not give, but maximum company will give the range, salary in between this range. And if you are going for very startups, make sure see the company, like when that company started, you have to observe that date also. If you are going with very startup, like if company has been started recently 1 year back or 6 months back or 2 years back, then they might not give that much salary. Okay, then they might not give that much salary. Then they might stick in between 3 to 5. 3 to 5. But anyone asks you what is your expectation, just tell them this much salary. You are expecting this much as a fresher. Okay, I'm talking in the terms of fresher. Okay, there is no career gap, guys. Whatever background you have, now no one looks into that. How much gap you have, no one looks into that. They just want the knowledge. Now industry has been completely changed. Whether you are from mechanical background, civil background, BCom, BSc, whatever you are, whatever qualification you had, it doesn't matter now. Skills matter now. If you are applying for a job, you should have that skills. That's it. Okay, now entire industry has been changed. Now no one looks your background. Everybody looks skills. They are going to take your interview. If you crack that interview, they are going to offer you job, irrespective of your background, irrespective of your gaps. Even a person who got passed out in the year 2010, he can also enter into IT industry now. If he has the skills, he can enter into IT industry. People are ready to give the jobs. Okay, so focus on the skills. If you have the skills, you can crack any kind of companies. Yeah. So is it clear, guys? I hope you guys understood, right? How to design this UI. Yeah. So can you guys tell me what is CSS? What is CSS? If someone asks you what is CSS, what will be your answer? Yes, CSS is a styling language. Okay, it is a styling language. Don't say full form. You can say CSS stands for whatever full form, you can mention that full form, but then you have to say it is a styling language. It is a styling language. And what is the purpose of CSS? What is the purpose of CSS? Yes, basically CSS is used to style or format the HTML content or element. Okay. What is the use of CSS? Using CSS, you can style the content of HTML. Basically, you can style your content, or you can format your content, or you can style your element, or you can format your HTML element. Now, what is the purpose of HTML? Did you remember the purpose of HTML? What is the purpose of HTML? The purpose of HTML is to structure the content, right? Now, to structure the content, what HTML is providing? What HTML is providing to us so that we can structure the content? Yes, it is providing HTML elements, right? In the same way, CSS is used to style the content, right? CSS is used to style the content. Now, what CSS is providing to us so that we can style or format the content or HTML element? What CSS is providing to us? CSS is providing to us something called properties. What CSS is providing? CSS is providing something called properties. Using those properties, we can style the content, or we can format the content, or we can style the HTML elements, or we can format the HTML elements. Understood? What CSS is providing? CSS is providing us properties. So what you are going to learn in entire CSS? You are going to learn about the properties. You are going to learn about properties. What are the properties CSS is providing? If I use this property, what kind of style I can get? If I use this property, what kind of format I can do? This is what you are going to learn in the CSS. Okay. Every property or properties, you can call this as a property, means you are indicating one property. If you are saying properties, means you are indicating multiple property. Okay. So what CSS will provide? It will provide properties, or you can say property. Every property will be in the key value pair. Every property in CSS will be in the key value pair. And this key and value are differentiated with colon. Key and value are differentiated with colon. And after adding one property, or after, property will end with semicolon. Every property will be in the key value pair, and property will end with semicolon. Example, there is a property called color. There is one property in CSS called color, and the key of that property is color. Value can be any color name. Like red, it can be black, it can be green. Like this, we have multiple values. This is the example of CSS property. Using this property, what we can do? We can change the color of our content. Using this color property, we can change the color of our content. Okay, using this color property, we can change the color of the content. Okay, what is CSS? CSS is styling language. What is the purpose of CSS? The purpose of CSS is to style the content or format the content or HTML element. Now, to style the content, what CSS is providing? CSS is providing something called property, or you can say properties. Now, every property will be in the key value pair, where key and value are differentiated with colon. Attributes, if you remember HTML attribute are differentiated with equal to. This is attribute, which we will add in the opening tag, okay, which is also in the key value pair. In the same way, CSS property is also a property which is in the key value pair. But here key and value are differentiated with colon, not equal to. Attribute are differentiated with equal to. CSS properties are differentiated with colon. Okay. Every property will give some kind of style. Is it okay? Understood what is CSS? What is the purpose of CSS? And what CSS is providing us so that we can style our content or HTML element? Is it clear up to here? Okay. Now about CSS, we will learn in the next session. In detail, we will learn about CSS in the next session. Okay, how to add CSS, how to write CSS code, everything we will learn in the next session. Now our next session will be on Monday, guys. Next session will be on Monday. So there is no session tomorrow. Tomorrow I am like basically traveling. So there is no session tomorrow. Next session will be on Monday. Okay, now we will learn some concepts of CSS. Once we learn some basic concepts of CSS, again we will come back to HTML and we will learn remaining concepts of HTML. Whatever HTML concepts are pending, those concepts we will learn. And once we have done with those HTML concepts, again we will come back to CSS. We will learn remaining concepts of CSS. And once we have done with CSS, then we will start with JavaScript. Yes, Sadhna, can you tell me now what is your query? No, Java is not necessary for UI developer, not at all. Java is necessary if you want to be a backend developer. If you want to be a backend developer, then only Java is necessary. If you want to be a front-end developer or UI developer, you don't require Java knowledge. There is no use of Java knowledge. In full stack Java module, all the modules are important. All the modules are important, right? If you want to be a full stack developer, then all the modules are important because all the modules are interconnected. If you know core Java, then only you can learn advanced Java. If you know advanced Java, then only you can learn Spring Boot microservices. And to understand Spring Boot microservices, you should know database also. So again, for that, you have to learn Oracle, something like that database. And this entire thing will be only for backend developers. Now, if you want to be a front-end developer, again, you should know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, or Angular. In between this, anyone you should know. And once you know front-end, backend, and database, then you are called a full stack developer. Okay, if you want to be a full stack developer, then guys, everything is important. But if you want to be a just front-end developer, then HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. Apart from that, you should know at least React.js or you should know Angular. Any one you should know. Or you can learn Vue.js also. There is a good demand in the market related to Vue.js as well. React will make a development of front-end application little bit easy compared to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So in short, I can say, if you are developing any front-end application with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and to develop that, let's assume that you are writing 1 lakh lines of code. Then same application you can develop with React in 10,000 lines of code. Now you decide you want to develop the application by writing 1 lakh lines of code or 10,000 lines of code. Chandrasekhar, if you want to develop apps, which apps? Mobile apps, you mean to say? Mithun, all are good. React, Angular, Vue, everything is good. But if you compare three, React has more demand in the market. And as per your Stack Overflow survey also, React is more demand in the market. But it doesn't mean that Angular or Vue doesn't have demand. They also have the demand. But if you just compare between them, React is slightly more demand, have more demand compared to Angular and Vue. And still, you guys can just go through the LinkedIn, you guys can go through the Naukri, you will understand which technologies has more demand. Pandu, that's your wish. How much you want to claim, you can claim. You can claim up to 5, 3 to 5. Again, depends upon how much knowledge you have and how much you will be able to handle the things. It's not that easy claiming experience. We haven't completed HTML. We have just learned some concepts of HTML. We need to learn some more concepts. Shiva, you can find all the videos on the YouTube. Okay, just visit Ashok IT channel in the YouTube. You will be able to access all the sessions from 1 to n till now. Yeah, Charan, React and Angular are two different things. Okay, so you can learn any one. No need to learn both. At initial, learn any one. Then, if you want, you can explore another. It's not necessary to learn front end to be a back end developer. Two things are too different. You can start with anyone if you want. If you are interested in front end, learn front end. If you are interested in back end, learn back end. If you are interested in both, just learn both. No, Pandu. HTML attributes doesn't add any styles. They just format little bit your HTML elements. React is 1 month duration, guys. 1 month or maximum 40 days, not more than. React learning curve is very small compared to Angular. Angular will take little bit extra time because we have to learn so many things in that. React is very, very simple. And if you know JavaScript, HTML, CSS, React is very simple. And you can learn within 1 month. And if you are experienced, the people who are experienced, for them, it just takes 1 week or 10 days to learn React. This is the only reason why React became so popular in the market. The main reason for React is it is very simple and easy to learn, and learning curve is very, very small. This is one of the reason why React became very popular in the market. JavaScript is very easy, Satna, very, very easy. I will teach you JavaScript in such a way that you will feel very, very easy. You just need to follow and you have to just practice it. JavaScript is very, 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 very easy. Compared to Java or any other programming language, JavaScript language is very, very easy. Yes, Ram, you can expect more than what you are getting now. You should know complete SQL 1A. So in real time, there is nothing like you should know only this much knowledge or that much knowledge. It's better to have a complete knowledge on technology. There are good calls, guys.